Men that are addicted to porn will never see you as enough. And the reason why that is because addiction pretty much is all about more. Addiction is all about the fantasy and not reality, escaping reality. And a lot of these guys really desire a woman that doesn't exist. A woman who is only in the screen, and a woman who isn't even acting like yourself. When you encounter these types of guys, they give you a weird sensation. They give you the sensation that you're not good looking enough. In fact, a lot of them struggle to stay hard whenever they're actually addicted to porn, because the porn is usually more exaggerated than what reality is. And so they confuse that type of sex with real sex. It's really dopamine driven, not connection driven. And you could honestly, it's pretty easy to see the guys that are addicted to porn if you actually look for it. And above all, if you actually take it serious, whenever you sense that they're addicted to porn, it's best to walk away. And you could tell it's pretty much depending on just how much desire they have. A lot of these guys will prefer to jack off over being with a real woman, because when they see porn, it's usually a one-way street. They don't know how to take feedback from a woman, right? Because the fantasies that they see is usually male-centric, okay? And the truth is that you see a lot more manifestations of it a lot of the times. They have a lot of misogyny, and it's usually and they're really sexual and go for the sex really fast. Oh, and one more thing, it's usually very dominant, very top down. Like they try to dominate you. It's not a connection type of relationship. And look, man, I'm guilty of that too, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm working on it, but you know, if you see that as a rep, if you see that, walk away, because he's not gonna make you feel wanted. Number 2, men who hold high risk job tend to have higher likelihood of cheating, even creative jobs. So that means if they're skateboarders, that means, and let's be honest, athletes, that means if they do rock climbing, dangerous rock climbing, the more dangerous it is, the more high risk it is, the higher the likelihood it is that they're gonna get injured. Yes, some accountants do cheat. Yes, some freaking preachers do cheat. That is a fact. That's very true, right? But usually, anytime, for example, if I see a woman and she does, let me see, what's an example of a risk? Even artistic jobs, anything that's like where maybe the lead singer in a band, those types of things where that you have to take a lot of risk to succeed in. Like even YouTubers, get the fuck out. Like honestly, I wouldn't risk it. Look at what happened with Liz, right? He was what, a YouTuber. It's not that it's a YouTuber. It's just that to do this, you gotta be comfortable with risk. In fact, you gotta get high off of the risk, because you're gonna take a lot of risk. And if you're not used to that, this is not the type of job that you want, okay? And the truth is, risk takers a lot of times cheat more. So that means fucking David Blaine, magicians, that type of shit. Nah, don't do that, okay? Fighters, MMA fighters. It's just because what that is that they need high risk to feel alive. And whenever they get used to, those types of people get used to level of risk, so they gotta up it up to feel more alive. Number 3, insecure men value youth and beauty above all, but secure men value character more. It's not that secure men don't value youth and beauty. It's not true, right? But that secure men will have character as their number one judging of who they're gonna be with. Why? Because secure men think more long term. Secure men live in reality. Insecure men live in fantasy. And usually the fantasies they have is of younger, attractive women, right? And so you gotta be careful that guys who are highly insecure, you could tell they need attention. You can't criticize them, right? They usually very ambitious, because a lot of the times insecurity can be easily translated into ambitious. And also just look at their dating partners, right? That would tell you a lot about them. And usually these are the types of guys that will date women who are really attractive, but that they just have low character, right? And just look at their exes. if their exes are women of low character, really good looking but low character, get away from that guy. That guy has a lot of insecurities that you're gonna know the more you get to know him. These might seem like that, they may not seem much, but if through experience, because I work with guys and I work with women, this is what I've seen, right? One thing, people, there's a free gift. I have an audiobook and an ebook that I have for you guys for free. You guys can click on the description down below. You could put your email down and get it straight to your inbox. It's a book that I wrote a few years ago, and I made it into an audiobook. And I want to give it to you guys so that since you guys are watching my videos, most likely you guys are new to me. It's my gift to you guys, okay? Thank you very much. Number 4, if he disrespects other women, you're next. A lot of the times, your ego, because you're the shit, you're good looking, a lot of guys want me, I'm the center, I'm the main character. They think that if he left you for another, if he left a woman for you, you think that that's not going to happen to you. Understand, these are patterns that transcend you. These are patterns that he can control. If he disrespects women, if he talks about women behind their backs in a negative way, I could promise you he's going to do the same thing to you. If he disrespects his ex and does things that are belligerent, I can promise you he's going to do the same thing to you. Always remember, people never do things just once, okay? And a lot of times, usually you can see it by the type of relationship he has with his mom. If he has a negative relationship with his mom, he has some internalized misogyny. That's just how it is, people. By the way, if you're enjoying this type of video, you should check out my more in-depth course, which is called Natural Chemistry. It's a course that I made. It's a 5-week course specifically made for women who are in relationships and who want to master the art of a relationship, who want to understand men. Each part of this course is specifically made to improve whatever relationship you have. All right, it's a 5-week course, 30-day money back guaranteed. It's only for women who are in relationships, and this one is for women who are single. It's called The Psychological Game of Attraction. It's a course that I made that would take you through the first 3 months of a relationship, and I split it up in 3 areas: the pre-honeymoon phase, the honeymoon phase, and the post-honeymoon phase. Every single one of you guys who are talking to somebody is in one of those phases, and so it's almost like getting coached by me. Quick and straight to the point. And both courses start off at $97, and they all have a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you don't like it, you could just get your money back. In fact, you could try it out for free. There's free videos if you click on the description down below where it says purchase the course. All right, let's get back to our normal program.
If you guys enjoy this video, you guys can check out my other courses that are more in-depth and more profound, such as the Psychological Game of Attraction, which is a course for women who are single; Natural Chemistry, which is a self-help course on women on how to build how to embrace their masculine energy, how to embrace their feminine energy; Natural Chemistry, which is a course for women who are in relationships; Charisma Blueprint, which is a course on how to build charisma; Emotional Mastery, which is a course on how to become emotionally resilient. It's pretty much, I teach you what I use to manifest my current life, to be honest with you. And you could purchase them all by joining the Mindful Attraction University, where you could purchase all of my courses. Usually all of my courses are $99. If you purchase all of them, you could get, I believe is $3.99. You could purchase them all, and there you'll be able to get access. And if you don't like the course, you guys can get a refund from Father Alex. Father Alex doesn't scam his subscribers. Father Alex is here to help. So if you guys feel like this video helped, trust me, you will like the course, because it's very rarely that the courses that you purchase from me don't work for that, whatever you're trying to. A lot of people purchase Natural Chemistry to improve their relationships with their partners, and it works. There's plenty of testimony. Just go to the website, Psychological Game of Attraction. If you're single and you apply that course, you won't be single for long, right? I'm telling you, if you're somebody who's overly masculine or you have too much feminine energy, check out The Feminine Woman. It'll teach you how to balance it so that you could have that sensation where you're feminine, but there's strength emanating from you. Right? I mean, too many women have that feminine energy, but it emanates as weakness. I'm here to teach you guys how to use your masculine so that you could strengthen and show that feminine energy without really looking way too masculine or way too feminine. And that allows you to have that beautiful balance that men respect, but also find attractive, right? So you can purchase it right now by clicking on the description down below, and I'll see you guys inside. Take care.
Number 5, some men only love the power they have over you. If you rebel and grow as a person, they'll leave you. And these types of guys, they're usually very insecure, never got women when they were younger, and usually were humiliated or maybe even bullied by when they were a teenager. And a lot of these guys, when they got validation from a woman, felt that they could feel powerful and secure through a woman's validation, that they're able to forget the insecurity that they experienced from being bullied, from not receiving the love from their mom. And because of that, they start to confuse love with actual desire for power. And these guys can be very ambitious. In fact, they learned early on that if they gain power, they can have a unbalanced relationship with younger women. And so what happens is that these are the types of guys that will use their absence to manipulate you, use their unavailability to manipulate you. They'll criticize you. In fact, they'll prefer age gap relationships where they have more money, more power, in a way to control you, right? And a lot of times you'll see this because once you start to understand the manipulation and you try to stand up for you and you try to put them in their place because they're being disrespectful, they're not going to say, oh my God, look at you growing up. Of course, I'm so sorry for hurting you. They'll leave. And you'll think that the strategies don't work. Oh, Father Alex, these strategies don't work. No, what's really happening is that they really don't love you. What they love is the power that they have over you because of their insecurity. So you got to watch out for that. And a lot of times they could be very good looking guys who got validation from women early on, or a lot of times these are powerful men who are new to female validation and they're getting drunk off of it and they don't notice it, right? Number 6, impulse control reveals everything. Debts, addiction, cheating, how they spend their money, their inability to be in one place. People, a lot of times, I'm talking about myself right here, man. Their inability to be in one place, right? Their capacity to not be able to break habits, right? And you'll see it because they have a lot of negative habits. Why? Because habits, if you don't stop them, they grow into more habits, right? If he can't control himself, he won't control he won't control his loyalty to you. If he can't wait to get the pum pum, he won't be able to control it. If he can't control his dizzy, he won't be able to be faithful to you. So that's why it's always better to start slow, because you could test this out with a guy. Number 7, the more he talks about what he wants from you, the less you should believe him. It's usually a manipulation. Guys who want an actual relationship, guys who want something serious, they're not all talk. You can see it through their actions. But those guys who future project you in the beginning, who tell you about the vacation that you're gonna take and how you should meet their parents, or how they should meet your friends, or what type of names that you have with their with the kids you're gonna have, especially in the beginning, you shouldn't believe it. The more they talk, the more bullshit they're in. Number 8, commitment doesn't always mean love. A lot of times, right, some men stay only for convenience. They stay because they see other people getting married. They stay because they don't feel like they could replace you, right? They stay because they have access to pum pum. Don't confuse their presence with actual devotion to you. A lot of the times they're in it because they just don't like to be alone, and you could tell why. Because they may not show that as much sexual attraction. They may resent you. They may be very disrespectful to you, right? They like more space than necessary. They don't remember the details about you. They're just in it and they're just going through the motions, right? A lot of times, if you stay with people like that, it corrodes your self-esteem, right? A man who doesn't want you and you stay with them, you start to internalize their disinterest, meaning the lack of love that they have for you, you're gonna start to see it in yourself. You're gonna start to feel it, because a lot of the times what we feel a lot of the times is a reflection of what others feel around us. And so that's why if somebody's lukewarm about you, don't stay with them, because eventually you're gonna feel lukewarm about yourself, which will cause you to have some form of escapism and start to fantasize about being with somebody else, and it might cause you to cheat on them. This is why I tell you guys, check out my course, Emotional Mastery. Check out my course, Psychological Game of Attraction. I'm gonna leave an announcement towards the end of the video where I tell you guys about the courses that I sell. 7. Oh, by the way, impulse control. A lot of the times, also, that's why it's always good to delay the sex, because you could tell a lot. You want to put that impulse muscle to the test. The more he talks about commitment doesn't always mean love. Money brings younger women, right? Not loyalty. Men who lead with their money never stay long. So if you're trying to attract a guy that has money, a lot of the times these are the types of guys that usually go after younger women. They're usually very superficial, okay? And a lot of times, guys who have a lot of money and have a lot of power, they usually prefer younger women. In fact, this is crazy, that the more power they have, I think I talk about this in this video, but let me get ahead of it. The more power a guy has, the younger the women they prefer. I mean, look at Epstein, right? It's you know how they say that the world is run by PDF? Because usually the more power you have, the younger you prefer. Why is that? Well, because the more power you have, the more you start to think of, what can I get away with? It's really that you start to escape reality and you say, man, I have so much power. How can I wield my power? And usually it'll slowly start to inch towards the illegal and towards the forbidden. It's usually when you get drunk on power. Let's use our heads, people. Careful with powerful men. Yeah, they're faithful when you're young, but when you get older, that same powerful man will replace you. I'm telling you, all the Shearer fans watching. His friends is a reflection of his character and vices. You'll notice this. Crackheads have crackhead friends. An ex-crackhead who's not a crackhead no more will naturally switch his friends. That's just the truth. Friends normalize behavior, and they bounce off of each other like a ricochet. If his friends cheat, if his friends lie, if his friends are misogynist, if his friends are aggressive people, assume the same. Assume the same from him. Don't think that that your magic pum pum attracts the best man. Don't think that we all think we're better, we're good character, we're good judgment of character, but in reality, we are not. Like, don't depend on that. If you think he's a great person, but his friends are a bunch of degenerates, I would judge him by his friends a lot more. Men are sexual hypocrites. Men have a certain double standard, and that's a fact, right? A man will sleep with a lot of women, but if you did the same, he'll judge you for it. Now, there's some evolutionary basis behind that, right? I did not make men. I'm not here to justify men, but it's usually because it originates from paternity certainty, meaning back then, if you had sex with a lot of women, a woman who has sex with a lot of guys, if I'm with you, I don't know whether or not it's my kid, right? But a woman knows it's her kid. But a man can never truly know it's his kid. So evolution has created a hypocritical adaptation to that, right? Where he would judge you a lot if you sleep with a lot of guys, but he won't see it the same in himself. What you also understand is that narcissism also causes a lack of self-awareness, right? Where if you're a selfish person, you don't see your selfishness. You justify it. But the more blind you are about who you are, the more you judge other people who possess the same trait in you. That's another thing. So it's not just an evolutionary basis where we prefer a woman who doesn't sleep around with a lot of guys simply because if you sleep around with a lot of guys, how do I know that that's my kid? How do I know that? Sorry, we can't curse on this channel. 8 guys didn't have Mari. They didn't have paternity tests. All they had is judging a woman on her promiscuity to have paternity certainty. So that's where the hypocrisy comes to. But unfortunately, in today's society, it creates problems, right? Where society will praise a guy that gets a lot of women, but a woman who sleeps with a lot of guys, they are shamed, right? It's just human nature. You gotta understand, we are human animals. We're not angels. We're not spiritual. We are spiritual beings, but at the end of the day, we are hypocritical creatures. And you tend to see this hypocrisy, right? Where a woman has the power to ruin a man's reputation, right? That's another type of imbalance in society. But it is what it is. That's just how life is, right? If a man has a capacity to violate you, to assault you, sexually, then it kind of balances out with evolution giving the power to a woman to be able to completely destroy your reputation, unless the man has power, and we know how that works. Number 12, a woman's success threatens many men, and also women. Men who date a woman who has more power than them experience more sexual dysfunction, right? Studies show that women who win an election have a high likelihood of divorce next year. And again, it's not sexist, because also women can tell you that when a woman is successful, the biggest hater doesn't come from men. The biggest hater comes from women. What that says is that it's just how society is, right? It's just how society, the human animal is not used to seeing women have power. It's just not. It's actually evolutionarily, it's a patriarchal society. So it just goes against human nature, and that's why women encounter so much resistance when they do manly thing and do things that are associated with male. Right? Because back then in hunter gatherers, it actually hurt people if you were successful, because it disbalanced the hierarchy, right? If you were successful, that means you didn't have time for the kids. See what I'm saying? So evolutionarily, a man who dated a woman who was ambitious, she had less time for the kids. It could potentially increase childhood mortality. And so to defend against that, it created an emotional blockage against women who have power. And so they prefer the women who have less power because they could devote more time to the child. It's really just an evolutionary adaptation that, from our point of view, it's like, fuck, oh, damn, I curse people. From our point of view, it's like, oh, man, that sucks. To the editor, see if you could put a beep on that. Next one. Anger strips the mask. Who he is when he's furious is who he really is. Or, not just anger, drugs, right? How when he gets drunk, particularly alcohol, can show who he is, right? Don't fall for my bad, I hit you because I was drunk. I usually don't do this. No. Remember the first law of human nature? People never do things just once, right? But it's like that saying goes, an angry and drunk person is an honest person. Number 14, a man isn't always a good partner. A good man isn't always a good partner. A good friend isn't always a good partner. A good partner requires more emotional commitment. It doesn't take a lot of emotional commitment to be a good friend. It doesn't take a lot of emotional commitment to be a good coworker. But a lot of the times we confuse the both. You see a person's dark side depending on how much emotional commitment is required. So with me and my friend, we're cool. But with his kids, who he has a deeper emotional connection with, he feels more free to show his dark side. Right? It's just how it is. Sometimes they're only good at a light level of commitment. The deeper you get in commitment, sometimes they have certain shadow sides that just makes them incompatible to be around them. So kindness and charm doesn't guarantee compatibility. How ambitious, how much of a good artist, how good they are with kids doesn't equate it. His shadow side shows up only in deep relationships. So that's why in the beginning you may not see their shadow side, right? But as you guys get closer and the emotional connection deepens, that's when you see the shadow side. And that's when you should judge them. That's why I tell people, don't judge a person in the first week. Judge a person as you get to know them, and also judge a person once you live with them, because that's when you see a man's real character. Younger men, number 15, younger men will never love you the way a man your age or older will. There seems to be a more normalization of women dating younger men. Now, why is that? Well, remember, the more money a woman makes, the less dependent they are on a guy. A lot of times, women who make more money, women who get higher education, women who get more power prefer younger men. Just like men who have more power prefer younger women. Right? But the problem is that a lot of these women think that these relationships can work. They don't. They're confusing lust with actual connection. Like, if you date a younger guy, don't get emotionally attached to that guy, because that guy will eventually date a woman younger than him. That's just how it is as he gets older. Now, if he does date an older woman, I don't want to judge every guy, but look at the relationship he has with his mom. If it's fucked up, if he has a good relationship with his mom and he wants to be with you, that's fine. But if he has a bad relationship with his mom and he wants to be with an older woman, I would do it, but I would be very cautious and I wouldn't expect much. That's just how it is. Number 16, jealousy isn't proof of love, right? This is more so to the women who never got love from their parents, never got attention from their fathers. Any type of emotional attention works for you whenever you don't get that validation as a child, right? And so it's actually insecurity. A possessive man doesn't value you. He wants to control. He values the control. I don't mind jealousy. What I do mind is when the jealousy comes out and how it comes out. There should be some hesitation to express the jealousy, and also, you know, it's okay. For example, if you have a lot, if you have a lot of male friends, yes, I understand the jealousy. But if you have a normal life, a normal friend group, normal job, and normal social life, and he doesn't want you to be around your friends, that's the toxic jealousy that I'm talking about. It's a toxic jealousy that isolates you. Not the type of jealousy where, you know, like maybe you have that one friend that's a little inappropriate, or maybe you're friends with your ex. Okay, that's fine, right? But there are some types of jealousy, the type that isolates you from your friends and family. Don't stay with them. Don't stay with them. That's toxic. That type of guy that would eventually translate into controlling your life, getting the password from your phone, and even potentially physically and verbal abuse. Number 17, how you meet a man matters. He'll always treat you better if he meets you online versus meeting you in real life. I always say this: you are always uglier online. That's just a fact. You're always uglier online. I've met women online where they didn't respond to me. Then they randomly met me on the street and they're like, "Oh my God, you're from Tinder. Oh my God, let's hang out." I'm like, bitch, you fucking okay, let's hang out. But that's some bullshit, right? I've seen it so many times. That's why I tell you guys, meet people in real life. You're always gonna be uglier in online. That's just how it is, man. They treat you as a pixel. And also, the guys you meet online a lot of times they're weird. They're weird. Most people who prefer online dating, especially guys, are not good socially. Any guy who has a social life, who has normal wiring, they would have met someone in real life. That's just how that works. So if you want to prevent meeting weirdos, meet them in real life, because weirdos don't come out. So privacy is one thing, secrecy is another, right? He judges you based on how you act, how you react to the little things, right? A man would judge your needy creepiness based on how you react to the little things. If you show calmness and detachment during difficult times, for example, you miss your flight or your friend stopped wanting to be your friend, and he saw you being calm and he saw you being relaxed, it's gonna register to him, and that's actually going to come into how willing he is to walk away. If he knows that you are an emotional wreck, that you overreact with everything, he's gonna be more willing to walk away because he knows that you're also gonna overreact. But if he saw you miss your flight and you stay calm and put the knife down, he's gonna say, shit, if I leave this woman, yes, she might be depressed, but she's gonna find a way to calm down, just like that one time she missed her flight. Okay. So number 19, forgiveness without consequences teaches him that you're weak and easy to manipulate. Like I always say, if he's disrespectful, don't let him come back without having him pay a price. Make him lick your ass. That is not a metaphor. If he wants to be disrespectful and you leave and he wants to come back, make him lick your ass. Unless he's a freak, then you're doing him a favor. So find something else. But the point is that anytime somebody leaves and come back, you have to make them pay a price. Make them write a letter, right? Make them walk around with a shirt that says I cheated and I love her. I don't give a fuck. Find out what makes them embarrassed, find out what hurts them, and make them pay a price so that it ensures or decreases the likelihood that he's gonna act out again. Number 19, Forgiveness without consequences teaches him that you're weak and easy to manipulate. Number 20. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If he gets away with it once, he knows how to get away with it again. If you forgive cheating once, it'll increase the likelihood that he's going to cheat again. Every second chance trains him to do it again. Every second chance trains you to take him back again. Come on, man. Remember, people, including yourself, never do things just once. 20. He wears different faces with different women depending on how much he likes her and respects her. The romantic so if he likes you a lot, what you'll notice, he might take you out on a romantic date. He might let you sleep over. But that same woman, another woman, dating the same guy, and he doesn't like her that much, she might notice that he never lets her sleep over. She never meets his friends. And she might say, wow, why doesn't he let me meet my friends? He's not that type of guy. No, he is that type of guy. He just don't like you. Oh my God, he's an artist. He never drew me. Well, but maybe because you're not his type. Not his type. But actually, no, that's not it, because of it. An artist has a lot of things to do. But generally speaking, though, how he treats you, it's a big indication of how much he likes you. What? Oh, I'm a bad texter. He's not a bad texter. He just doesn't like you enough to text fast. Plain and simple. 21. Whatever starts fast ends fast. Don't get flattered when a guy starts fast. He's not reacting to your magical poom poom. He's not reacting to how amazing you are. Guys who love bomb, guys who start fast because of insecurity. It's a pattern. It's how they self-soothe. It's how they feel validated. So whenever a guy wants things really fast, slow his hot ass down. Tell him no. Why? Because you're not. If you give in, he's gonna lose respect. Let's just be honest. He's gonna lose respect. Remember, men are sexual hypocrites. Men lay it on thick right before they take something. Charm is the setup, okay? They charm you, they go fast, they tell you what you want to hear, they listen to your words and bring it back and give it back to you, right? All you got to do is make sure that whenever they want to do something that's really fast, you slow them down. Literally. You literally have a conversation and say, hey, Tyrone, that's too fast. Let's slow down a little bit. Let's calm your hot ass down, right? That will tell you so much how he reacts. How he reacts will tell you so much about his character. Having too much empathy attracts narcissists. Usually when you have a lot of empathy, you were raised with narcissists. That's a fact. That's a fact. It sucks, but it's true. That's why usually the asshole dates the nice girl and the nice girl dates the asshole. Number 24. Mixed signals means you're not a priority. Don't try to understand mixed signals. Just walk away. Just walk away. There's no reason to reason with mixed signals. Just walk away. Find somebody else. 23. Go after the men that make you feel secure and then the guys that you have chemistry with. Go after those who you like and who you know like you back without a shadow of a doubt. Not the guys you gotta Google if they like you. Not the guys you gotta call me for. But the guys that like you so much, it's obvious. Even fucking Stevie Wonder, sorry about that. The editor removed the beep. Even Stevie Wonder can see that you like him. Can see that you like her. Even Stevie Wonder can see it. That's a fact, people. And a lot of times we're drawn to the mixed signal because it's confusing. That's why we're drawn, because of the confusion. It's like a puzzle you want to solve. That's really why. And it's a reflection of insecurity. You got to walk away from people. So I tell you guys, if they like you, it's obvious. If they don't like you, you get confused and you don't know if they like you. 23. Go after the men that make you feel secure. Yeah. 24. If he don't fear losing you, he don't respect you. That's simple. Even if he loves you. It's that simple. It's like it's that to me is really the most important part, in my opinion. You want to be respected rather than loved. Whoever the hell came up with that was totally right. You want to get respected rather than loved. And a lot of times we trade respect for constant validation. We trade respect for little tidbits of validation from people, right? Where they're disrespectful, but because we feel so unhappy and we're so accustomed to their validation, we ignore what they do just so that they can validate us, make us feel better, and remove that pain that gnaws at us. 25. How his dad treats his mom is a reflection of how he'll treat you. Not how he is with his mom, but how dad treated his mom. Or how his mom's boyfriend treated her. Or look at who he admires. Does he admire rappers? What rapper does he admire? And look at how he treats his wife. Men, how men treat women really is an imitation of their environment. You know? So again, don't get so flattered. Don't think you got the magic pum pum that all of a sudden he wants to change how he treats women. No. Remember, how he treats them, it's how he saw it growing up. Plain and simple. All right, so the next one is that highly ambitious men usually are avoidant. And usually these are the guys that women like the most. The guys that have that bit large company, the guys that have a big house, a lot of friends. A lot of those guys are avoidant. And meaning when you get close, they push away. And this is why these avoidant men can be really attractive to women, for the simple fact that they are difficult to read, but also they come across as mysterious at a distance. But when you get closer to them, you realize that they're flawed. They're incapable of connecting with a woman. And that's why if you're attracted to men who are distant, who are highly motivated, highly ambitious, you are inadvertently attracted to avoidant men. And we all know what happens. You know, a lot of times, empathic women with insecure attachment style are attracted to guys like that. And by the way, you can't change them. No, pum pum doesn't change them. 27. Creative, adventurous men sometimes hide a dark side that might be full of addiction and contradictions from outward appearances. Be careful with those highly creative, adventurous men who fucking skydive, who go snorkeling, right? Who want to travel to fucking Timbuktu, who want to climb Mount Everest. A lot of the times, these exhilarating seeking guys have drug addictions. That's just a fact. Just look at any climber, any people who people who have those types of jobs. Just read into their background. Read into their background. The problem is that, like I said, they usually attract what? Women who are bored, women who had very strict parents, women whose parents never let them be themselves. And so what happens is that these women will be attracted to these guys because they lack the quality that they have, right? And usually if you're that type of woman, to stop being attracted to those type of guys, you got to develop those traits. So for example, if you're attracted to aggressive guys, most likely it's because you lack that aggressiveness inside of you. So if you develop that aggressiveness, naturally you're going to stop being attracted to them. For example, I'm an artist, and when I first started painting, I admired certain artists that were better than me. When I got to their level, I stopped admiring them. It's kind of similar to that. If you're attracted to it, it means you lack it. So learn to have it, and all of a sudden their projections will stop. Next one. Use conflict to reveal his character. Men of character can handle criticism and disagreement. Men who don't have good character, men who are narcissistic, grandiose, they don't tolerate criticism. The problem is that the very same women who are unwilling to confront are the very same women who attract narcissistic men. Meaning, usually nice girls, usually girls who have insecure attachment styles, are afraid to confront because they're afraid that the confrontation might lead to the end of the relationship. But also remember, the insecure, empathic type usually attracts the very same guy who can't handle that criticism. So it's kind of it's almost like a trap, to be honest with you. But that's why you gotta test it. You gotta stress test a relationship. You gotta stress test a guy. it's not going to ruin the relationship. It's either going to bring you closer to the guy, or it's going to reveal that he's not the guy. Remember, we're not here to chase it high. We're not here to be emotional crackheads and go after guys who we feel chemistry with. We're here to go after the guys who are compatible, who have good character. And sometimes you have to sacrifice chemistry for compatibility. So men who can't handle criticism, and also, if they can't handle criticism, you guys cannot grow in love, because love grows through criticism, through conflict, and then reconciliation. And this is how you get closer, and this is how you become compatible over time. Not through hiding those problems, not through internalizing those problems, because eventually you're going to start doing passive aggressive stuff. Judge a man. Oh, this is crazy. 32. 29. Judge a man by the family structure he was raised in. I'm sorry. Like, a lot of people, and this means you got to judge me too. A lot of people think it's me when I say this, but it's true. If they were raised in an abusive household, I would advise you. And look, sometimes I'm wrong, but I prefer someone who had a freaking Dr. Uncle Phil and Vivian Banks type of family. I don't want no Will Smith type of family, okay, where it's only his mom. I'm sorry. I would honestly go for men who had a two mom and dad household, and who they had a healthy relationship. That's honestly one of the quickest way to judge people. And I know it's judgmental, but you're going to be right more often than not. Yes, sometimes you're going to find a gem in between. I get it. But I would just go, because if their family is dysfunctional, you're going to have to deal with that family eventually. I'm sorry. Like, it's just how it is. You have my permission to judge a guy by his family. 30. Phone secrecy is a red flag. And that don't mean that to fix it, you got to look at his phone. That means that if he has phone secrecy and you're seeing it early on, don't go Scooby-Doo mode and explore why. Get the heck out. Get out. Find somebody else, man. Like, a big portion of this is learning to eliminate as soon as possible. Because people say, oh, it's so hard to find the right guy. It's not that it's hard. It's just that you waste your time with the wrong ones. You saw all of those red flags, and rather than leave and find somebody else, you stay there, and potentially you could have met someone on the second week that was better than this guy. Hidden screens and guarded devices always mean hitting lives. Don't play dumb. 31, saying no to gifts and this is gonna turn a lot of Shira 7 fans. They're gonna go like that. Saying no to gifts and money will always get him to give you more later on without any suspicion. Lose the battle to win the war. I'm telling you, if you just want the money from a guy, the first time he offers, say no and say, baby, that's too expensive. I swear to God. I know it's counterintuitive. I know, but it's true. It's very true. It's very true. It's honestly really true, man. It's like a guy that says no to the poom poom. You're like, whoa. Oh, he don't want the poom poom. This is new. Like, if you say no to what they usually lead with, they're gonna give you more of that. Plain and simple. 32. He won't value you until you're gone. Some men can only love a woman that exists in their mind. This is mostly avoidant. Many men only see worth in hindsight, but by then, the damage is already done. Some men are so used to, and this is honestly comes from porn and rejection from women. Usually when you're in your head and you don't interact with an actual woman, you start to fall in love with what you see in your mind. And anytime that becomes a reality, it turns you off because you're only used to the fantasy. So how do you become a man's fantasy? By not being there. When he's around you, he can't see you in his mind because the version he has in his mind is not even you, but it's more attractive to him. People like that who can only love you at a distance, you can't save them. You can't go to therapy with them. Magic Poom Poom is not going to fix it. Ayahuasca is not going to fix it. What works is magic walking away from them. You know? And the problem with these guys is that when you leave, they'll beg. And they beg with no shame. And they tell you exactly what you want to hear. And this is why it's really difficult to believe what I'm saying. Next one, Heat 32, I think, right? Yeah. No, 33. Believe him the first time he says he's not ready. Believe him. Sometimes you think it's a challenge or that you gotta wait. It's like when a woman says maybe. It's not maybe, it's never. When he says he's not ready, believe him. A lot of the times people tell you who they are. You just see it as a challenge. Or you don't understand something about human nature, man, is that usually when you meet people, that's how they're going to be for the rest of their lives. I know it's really difficult to understand it, but it's actually really true. Yes, sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes a crackhead doesn't become sober for the rest of his life. That's a fact. That's a fact. But it's more often it's not. Play the numbers game. He means it when he says he's not ready. Trying to change his mind will only waste your time. If he says he's a narcissist, believe him. If he says he's toxic, believe him. Even if they're saying playing around, believe them. People don't usually confess things that go against their benefit. But anytime somebody confesses to a negative quality, believe them. 35. Marriage and religion were built to control women. That's a fact. That's a fact. Men shaped institutions to protect their bloodlines, not to protect actual love. That's why marriage can seem so oppressive. And so they created marriage to ensure fidelity, right? Not to offer fidelity, right? I mean, look at most religions, right? What does that say? Well, it's just how it is, right? A lot of the things, you know, even the religions that you have, a lot of the religions that you believe in started off because a guy wanted to get laid. But then over time, it morphed into something useful. You know, like, look, people, I'm not going to bash on people's religions, but I really do believe that. But I just think that humans repurpose things and turn it into something good over time. But I really do think most religions started off as cults. 36. Go slow, but be quick to leave when he shows that he is bad for you. So many women are the opposite. They go fast and slow to leave. That's how you get played. And reverse the dynamic and start slow and be quick to leave. Look for red flags. Now, if you're a Terminator, if you're the type of woman that you're perpetually single, that you're always looking for reasons to leave, then sometimes you got to reverse the dynamic and go in the opposite direction. But generally speaking, going slow will always be to your benefit, man. Always be to your benefit. You can never go wrong going slow, but things could go really bad when you go fast. It's plain and simple. The most shocking thing to me is when a woman sees my red flags and she doesn't leave. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you just saw Satan. Sorry, I curse. You just saw Satan. You gotta be quick to leave. When they start being inconsistent, leave. Don't try to change them. Don't try to change them. That's how you let them know you're serious. 37. If there's any signs of abuse, like uncontrolled anger, punching the wall, talking bad to strangers, talking bad to grannies, put downs, disrespect, run. Don't call them out on it. Just leave safely and block them. All abuse starts small and escalate, just like negative habits. You smoke crack one time, okay, that's fine. But then over time, you start smoking more crack to the point you start doing the Harlem Shake. All abuse starts small and escalates. It won't get better. It's not your fault, and you can't fix them. Stop trying to fix people. Stop trying to fix people, man. Like, it's free. Kids cannot get their parents to be fixed. Daddy, why do you keep doing crack? We want you to stop doing crack, Daddy. He ain't doing crack for you, little boy. He's not gonna stop. Stop begging him. But the only thing that changes is a true appraisal of who you are, honesty. And unfortunately, you don't know whether or not people are really being honest, because sometimes they don't even know if they're being honest about changing. Oh, that's the last time. Today I stopped doing crack, and then they start. You see, like, It's really difficult. Honestly, it's a disease. So don't try to change them. 38. Men aren't idiots. When he does something unfair or manipulative to you and act like, what happened? Why are you overreacting? What have I done? He knows exactly what he's doing. If he takes 3 or 4 days to respond, oh, my fault, I'm too busy. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's not busy. He's not busy. You can't believe that. You can't fall for that. You got to give people more credit. They're not stupid. They're not. And they're not that busy too. What are they, the ambassador of the United Nations that they don't have time to respond to you? Can't be doing that and telling people you watch my channel. 39. Self-sabotage is real. When you get close to him, he'll do something to ruin it. It's not your fault. Some men just can never be happy. This happens with addiction, where once their life starts getting better, they relapse. And usually it's because they only got sober because things were bad. The inner saboteur comes out in this way, in a very weird way, where you think it's on purpose. No, things are good. I could have. They give themselves permissions to go back to their old habits. You understand? The ego of a toxic person regenerates really fast. And unfortunately, sometimes you meet them when they're recovering. Sometimes you meet them when they're fixing their lives. As soon as they have something stable with you, they see that their lives is fixed. And just like a thermometer, as soon as it gets to a certain temperature, it turns on and it either cools the house or warms it up. Sometimes their inner saboteur is when things get stable enough to a point, they gotta do something to bring it back down to chaos. And you may not know it's a pattern because you haven't been with him his whole life. Some men destroy good women because stability feels foreign. But being toxic feels like they're in their own little home. 40. When a guy says you can do better, run. He's telling on himself. I told women that. I'm like, yo, what are you doing with me, man? Like, do you see the type of guy that I am? Like, and looking back, I'm like, they should have listened. I'm like, I'm not the best person, man. I'm sorry. Like, it's like, if a guy tells you, it bets you run. Don't say, oh, no, baby, of course not. I don't mind a little crack here and there. Get the hell out. He's warning you. He's trying to do you a favor in reverse. Now, if you already made it this far, here, check this out. This is my clothing store. These paintings I've done for myself. These are all handcrafted art put on t-shirt. So if you guys want to check out our clothing, look at it. This is me, people. If you guys want to check it out, put some clothing that I make, you can click in the description down below and check out the store. And this is the free ebook that I have for you guys, an audiobook. By just clicking in the description down below, you can put your email and name down, and then you'll be able to get access to that free ebook, and you get access to my email list. Okay, so let's continue with the video. All right, so what number are we on right now? Number 41. Okay. Going slow shows a man's red and green flags. When you go slow, two things happen. They either respect it or they get butthurt and bitter. All to your benefit. Because whatever a guy does in reaction to your slowness, in reaction to you setting the pace, is either a green flag or a red flag. If it doesn't work, meaning if he leaves, if he gets turned off, that's a red flag. Because a guy that likes you doesn't lead with his dizzy. He leads with patience. He understands he's looking for a long-term partner. And above all, he finds that to be prudent on your part. In fact, the fact that you don't give him the poom-poom, a guy who's serious will find that to be preferable, even though it hurts. A guy that just wants control will get enraged because they feel entitled to the poom-poom. Number 42. Don't wait for a man to change or mature. Don't wait. I don't care if he just signed up for therapy. I don't care if he just signed up for that rehab. I don't care if he went to a meditation retreat. I don't care if he's making up with his mom. I don't care if he's apologizing to all the people who he robbed. I don't care if he's not a scammer anymore, right? Find them as they are and accept them as they are and assume they'll never change. Yes, some people do change sometimes, but we're not here to fix people. Men have a tougher time maturing than women do. That's just a fact. They're the risk takers. Men are more likely to be immature up until in older age compared to a woman. A man's body doesn't force him to mature. A woman can have a kid accidentally, and that might force her to mature, like the environmental factor. But a guy has more control over their environment. And a lot of guys end up being man-child. Trust me. I know. All right? So don't wait for a guy to mature, man. It's just you're trying to fix them. 43. Careful dating men with if you have a child, right? Not men with a child, but if you have a kid, careful dating and bringing a guy into your life. I'm sorry. Like, there is nothing that increases a child being touched more than bringing a man that's not his father or her father into his life. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. It's plain and simple. It's dangerous to bring a stepdad into a child's life. You got to be very careful. The problem is that sometimes you're craving for validation, male validation, or, you know, it didn't work out with the kid's father, that you want a family for the kid. But the problem is that it could be very dangerous. I believe it's introducing a man into a child's life increases the likelihood that kid gets abused, you know, by 120%. I think I saw that in college. They said it's the highest like change in factors in almost any study in psychology. Like, there's nothing that increases something higher than bringing a man into a child's, girl or boy's life. Why? Because guys are the ones that usually do that. Now, yes, women do that too. That, don't get me wrong. I watch Law and Order, but the stats just point towards the direction of men being sexually deviant in that sense. So you got to be careful. 44, the more powerful a man is, like we said earlier, the younger the women they prefer. To the point that the most powerful of powerful prefer to. Yeah, that's just how it is. Power corrupts, absolutely. And that's why, coincidentally, every time there's cults when the guy gets a lot of power, they usually turn to PDF. That's just how it is. Power does that. And the thing is that, you know, when people turn, you know, there's a few ways that happens. People turn into PDF. There is that you're born with that preference. That's a real thing, like where you're literally born liking shorter people, to call it that. There's drug-induced PDF, where you might take certain drugs, and if you abuse it over the years, your preferences get lower because the drugs produce fantasies. They produce fantasies, and they get more illegal and more legal. The next one is power and money could do that, especially if it's all of a sudden. Sudden shift in power and money may do that. And then it's proximity, right? Where it might be activated out of just being so, like, it gets really dark. Honestly, this is one of those things in psychology that's really controversial to talk about, but there is being born like that, and then there's temporary states of PDF where it's drug induced. And then there is when power corrupts you to that you become that. 45. Compatibility matters more than love. And when I mean love, I mean chemistry. This requires high self-esteem to upload, because that means that when you find somebody that you like and have chemistry with, you get a high. And when you get a high and you don't have good self-esteem, meaning you don't know how to go from unhappiness to happiness, or better yet, you are fulfilled in your life. If there's an emptiness in your heart and something takes you from emptiness to fulfillment, you might become addicted to that. Meaning, if you are naturally unhappy in your life, and somebody comes in and gives you a quick high of validation through the chemistry, even if they're toxic, you're gonna stay. So that's why you gotta be happy. Learn to be happy on your own, so that when you meet someone and you feel chemistry, it doesn't give you an instant boost. It gives you a tiny boost, but you're still happy. You don't depend on this to feel at an elevated, normal, happy state. And that's why you gotta develop a meditation practice. Develop a relationship with God so that could become your self-esteem, right? Or have friends and family. Surround yourself with people, because when you're isolated, you naturally get at a lower state. When you're at a lower state and something boosts you up, like chemistry, you might become addicted to it to the point that you don't give a hell about compatibility. 46. Men who ghost have serious psychological problems. Normal people have normal decency. Be careful with people who ghost you. You gotta understand, it's normalized to ghost. But also understand that it's not normal. It's not people who are willing to build a trust with you, see you every day, and then disappear. There's something wrong with them. Do not take them back. It's not normal. He didn't just ghost you. That dude there's something wrong with them. It's human decency to alert someone when you don't want to be with them, even though it hurts. If they don't have the courage to do that, I am telling you, this is a pattern, and there's something deeper going on. Do not normalize that type of behavior and take him back. 47. Men default to easy path, but it's a test. It's an evolutionary test by evolution. Naturally, we want the easy things, but if you're easy to us, we don't respect you. It's a test to see whether or not we're gonna take you seriously. And even good guys will try to get the easy pum pum. And if you give it up soon, they'll be disappointed. They'll take it, but they'll be disappointed. If you say no, they'll be disappointed, but they'll respect you. Like it's almost like they're like, all right, I guess this is not long-term material. That's how guys think. I did not make men. I did not make men. People don't respect shortcuts. 48. A man will know if he wants a relationship within the first month, and he will get into one within the first 2 or 3 months. He will not wait longer. Plain and simple. He will not wait longer. I gotta put the 51. This is what I tell you. If within the first 2 or 3 months he doesn't want a relationship, it's not gonna change after the 4th month. Find somebody else. Moonwalk your booty back. 49. Careful with men who just got out of a relationship. Rebound men. Sometimes they're just using you as a rebound. Don't get flattered by their attention. So find out. It's very important. When was your last relationship? If they just said last week, find somebody else. I promise you, they're with you, and they're like, this girl does not compare to my ex, but she distracted me. You don't want to be that recipient of you're not my ex. I've been in that. I've been in that. It's not fun. Don't be that person. The last one. He's not busy. He just don't like you. It's that simple. You gotta understand, when somebody likes you, they're like crackheads. Is a crackhead ever busy to do crack? Tell me. Any crackhead, tell me. Are you ever busy to do crack? Of course not. Of course you're not busy to do crack. So don't buy into I'm busy, I got things to do. You're not busy. They just don't like you. They just don't like you. People have time to text you back. Even surgeons in the middle of a freaking bypass surgery don't respond to you. There's no such thing as busy when you like someone. There's no such thing as busy when you have an attraction towards one. But when you're lukewarm, oh, you're busy. Baby, man, I gotta go. I'm the ambassador of the United Nations. I got things to do. That's how it is, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org on the description down below. Book a one-on-one phone call with me and check out my courses on the next video. Take care. Last but not least, men will treat you, the men in your life will treat you according to how you treat yourself internally. And how you treat yourself is pretty much dependent upon how they treated you as a child and the treatment that you expect. So if you were mistreated as a child, if you weren't shown respect, you're gonna expect that from men. If you were shown respect, you're gonna expect that from men. So a lot of the times how people treat us is pretty much an indication of what we expect. And what we expect is what we saw how others treated us when we were a kid. The way to change that, if you keep attracting those types of toxic situations, is to learn to treat yourself with more compassion, right? Developing self-love. And sometimes it's hard to do that, but some of the ways that you could do that is through positive affirmation, telling yourself you love yourself. Other ways that you could do that is through developing a relationship with a higher power, right? Talking to God, like seriously, because God is a father, and asking to show him, to show you his love. Other ways that you could do that is through therapy, because what you're doing is that you're putting positive attention on yourself, right? And above all is when you make mistakes in life, treat yourself with gentleness. And most often than not, it's truly about learning how to go from from unhappiness to happiness. If you teach yourself how to go from agitation to peace, from stress to relaxation, you start to give yourself what you needed as a child. Because what happens is that you expect negative treatment when as a child, your parents never soothed you. They never had the patience to soothe you. They never had, or they weren't there to make you, to relax you when you were in your most tense moments, right? So you allow yourself to go from disappointment to a relaxful state of mind. How do you do that? Well, whatever works, right? Whatever is from the inside, meaning as long as it's not external, meaning as long as it's not smoking crack, doing drugs, even validation from other men, eating, none of that. It has to come from internal. It has to come from internal. So that means that's why it's perfect to pray and ask God to give you that love. Or through developing a meditation practice, you learn to radiate those emotions that causes you to go from intense emotions to relaxation. And over time, you'll start to treat yourself better, because now you don't depend on them to make you feel better, because you allow negative treatment because that's what you think makes you feel better about yourself. It's pretty much a programmed thing from childhood that it's very difficult to break, but you break that by giving yourself what you want others to give you. Okay, so it starts with positive attention. And what's positive attention? Just awareness, right? Observing the sensations of the body and breathing. That you're bringing awareness to yourself, and you're bringing life back to yourself by noticing yourself, right? Not distracting yourself. You feel bad, you think about smoking crack, right? You feel bad, you watch a movie. You feel bad, you start eating. You're removing attention from the body. Bring attention to the body, keep attention to the body, and you'll notice those emotions will go from unhappiness to happiness. And over time, you'll start to develop self-respect, because now you can depend on yourself to make yourself feel better, and you stop depending on them. Are you needy and creepy? Do you have a tough time coming across confident when you like the person? A lot of the times you just don't know what to do. You have habits and patterns that whenever somebody triggers you, you completely forget what to do the right thing. Well, guess what? I have a course for that. And it's called The Psychological Game of Attraction, Natural Chemistry, and The Feminine Woman, what I call the fundamentals. All of those courses are meant to eradicate and exercise the needy, creepy parts in you through action. Meaning, you do what the videos say, and without a shadow of a doubt, you actually get the results. You'll notice that men call you back more. Men will want more relationships with you. They're gonna be the ones that are needy and creepy. They're gonna be the ones that want something. They're gonna be the ones that are the aggressors in trying to get a relationship out of you. But the problem is that a lot of people just watch one or two videos and completely forget that there's actually a system. Don't just watch one or two videos. Get the system either by purchasing all of them and get a discount, or purchase them individually. Because a lot of the times just watching one video in isolation, you actually miss the big picture. You have to understand why it works. You have to understand what to do next. And a lot of times my videos just can't address that. A lot of people, you see by the testimonies right here, a lot of people have done what those videos say, and they've gotten results. Like the other day, I was in Mexico, and they were like, "Hey, Alexis," and I'm like, "Hey, oh my God, your videos are so great." And I'm like, and she was like, "Look at my kid." I'm like, what you talk about your kid? That's not my kid. She's like, no, because of him, because of your videos, he's here. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's a thing. But I get that a lot. And ironically, that woman watches
all of my videos, right? So purchase those courses, man. And if you don't like it, you actually could get a 30-day money-back guarantee, right? Purchase them individually or get a discount and purchase them all by clicking on the description down below. You have the option of purchasing the one with the bonuses that obviously it's more material, where it's like I give you guys meditations. There's also other courses on how to make friends, how to master anything, or you could purchase it without the bundle, which is much more affordable. All right. And with that, you guys are able to support my channel, which will allow me to make more videos. Okay. Anyways, see you guys inside and thank you.